Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good, let's see if we have some new reviews to look at. I think these were all the same as of previous. Okay. Then let's go to code. So, what do we have currently approved, if anything? This one. Okay. Then let's take a look at these here. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. So many new reviews. Oh boy. What about this one here? What is the current stuff to do? Okay. Half pi. legacy variants can be safely removed without breaking VC6 replace, then that is fine. New function. SQRTF. Across legacy. Is it currently compile? Yeah. I ran a bunch of tests to add as much conclusive to this. Should change. Remove this. Identical implementations. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, then we have way too many reviews. I don't always know what to look at here. Let's take a look at this one again. Okay. What is this? Text entry HTTP proxy is not needed, yeah? Is it? HTTP TCP request web bulletins. It does not proxy peer-to-peer UDP game traffic or match sockets. Player confusion. Players frequently misinterpret proxy in the game options as a full network proxy to route multiplayer matches. Okay, my first question is, instead of removing the proxy ports, would it be possible to actually find traffic for net packets through it, or is that not needed or possible? Purpose So this one is network GUI minor good. Now back to our code. So last session we did implement a bunch of functions, and now we need to use them in here. Right, so I would have to say if is file ignored, file name, return false. Okay. What else do we have? We have open file. Here we do the same. STLN. STLN. This one is stupid check. How about we do then we do if is file ignored. Turn out PTR. Okay. Okay. So there we have that, and then next we can do get file info. So here we can do if file name is empty, return false. If is file ignored, file name, return false. You could also do well, this shouldn't return true, right? If a file name is empty, it's just invalid. Yeah. Okay, empty false is file ignored, false. Good, what else do we have? Get file list and directory. To me, it looks like we can put the handle here. Move this here. ASCII search. So it creates here a current directory search name. What is that? So to me, it looks like file list and directory. Okay, so I think here we need multiple tests. So I think we need to do here if is directory ignored, ASCII search, return, Then here, same. Recursively. Yeah, I think here we simply do continue if file ignored. Your file name. Okay, and here directory. So this is now a subdirectory. I think here we can do another optimization, since so this check would also look if the folders are ignored, but since that is already covered by this one, it wouldn't be necessary in here. So what we can do is we add a normalized file ignored. Okay, so we could have like an argument to tell to not look into subdirectories, or parent directories. Okay. Protected. Adaptive int ignore file flags, file item ignore file flags. File flags, skip, or let's say ignore ignore skip parent directories. Ignore directory flags. Well, it's the same, right? Okay, ignore. Let's consolidate these two. Ignore lookup flags. Let's just do it like this. Then we have this, ignore file flags, 0, test. Ignore file test flags. Do that. Okay. Then we need to pass it here everywhere. Okay. So, and then here we say flex. Okay. And then we do is file ignored. So okay, and then here we do and then here we do if flags skip parent directories. Turn false. Yeah. Same here. I think that's it. So this way we can have a quicker test where we ignore all the parent directories, don't have to go through this recursive loop, which is useful here. Here we say skip parent directories because it's already tested here, right? This one is a bit stupid, right? Let's do ASCII string directory equals this, and then concat this. Good. Then here we do if directory ignored, boom. And here we do ASCII search directory and that. Okay. We can do this and this. Okay. Then we do here, we can simplify this. New file name equals directory. Concat this, done. Okay, and here we do the same. Directory Concat, and then what is this? Subdirectories. Concat, find first file, search subdirectories. So this one is so it is right. So this is a subdirectory here, which we can also simplify. No, we can't. The current directory. Yeah. Yeah. And this one. This one will call recursively in here, and then here it will check this again. So this is already covered. Yeah, I think this function is done. Yeah. Here we can say skip directories because it's already covered above. The directory. Okay, I think that's correct. Now we need to let's see if it compiles. First things first. Would then need to replicate this to std local file system as well. Okay, it has worked. Yeah, good. But we're still missing something else as well. Let me do a to do here though. To do implement ignoring here as well. Huh. Wasn't this initialized to 0 before? Max. A 0 scale change is clamped back to 0.005. Ping pong wind continues advancing while paused. Okay, I need to look at that, yeah. Should the render pairs refresh only in transform? Need to look at that. Pretty sure this is all AI generated comments here. Yeah. Because no one would write idempotent. Like, no one writes this word. I don't even know what that means. I've never seen this word before written by anyone. Plus, no one would write this X here because it's not a character on the keyboard, it's a Unicode symbol. I know that AI loves to write this. Yeah, I guess I need to look at these things, but not now. Good. So, what else do we need to do? We need to I think it's for the new file we added, which is file system ini or something. Yeah. So here, fs-ignore. So I think we need to include file system.h, which is in common. No? Game client. Where's file system? Oh boy. File system is in common. So, and then we have this. I think what we need to do now is create a load flags, search subtiers. File system. In a way, this logic here is it's a bit stupid, isn't it? Because it allows you to put anything in there, right? Like you're not bound to putting file system related things into this file or folder. Like you could put anything in there, and then it would try to parse it, and then it would crash it if it's too early, right? So in a way, it's silly, right? In a way, it's silly. But okay, that's how it's currently set up. Okay, so I think what we need to do is we go to English here, and we go to data ini, and then we create a file system folder, and then here we create a ignore data ini. Okay. Then in here we write file system ignore int, and then what does it take? Name equals, say, do we have a data ini? And then let's also do some specific ones like particle system.ini and let's say command set ini. Okay, so now it should add these two entries and this one entry in there. Yeah. Which then means that the game should crash because it wouldn't be able to load any ini files. And would have no contents. no game logic. Okay. And then, so for starters, let's put a breakpoint here. I put a return here instead. Okay, it's not hitting that for some reason. Why not? Let's go to game. Did we actually hook this up anywhere? Ah, we did not. Okay. That's great. So there should be some ini pass table somewhere, which is here. Right. So that means here we add a new entry and call it. Is it alphabetically sorted? Looks like it. Okay. So this is file system ignore. Ignore. And then we add it to F file here. Okay. Behind EVA events. Well, let's put it before this, yeah. Okay. Okay, and then we do. Then we check it again. Okay. So let's try that again. Looks like it did not hit. Again, why not? Let's put a breakpoint on game engine. Where is it? This line here, please. Put a breakpoint here. Let's see if it hits that for starters. It does. Okay, but it won't. It does not find any. Does not find any definitions. Why not? Oh, because we call it .h. Classic mistake. Classic mistake. Okay, let's try that again. So, and voila, it hits. Okay, fantastic. Then let's take a look what it does here. fsignore data ini. Yep, this is looking good. So this is a folder. Okay, now the question is, what do we do here? So we have the local file system at this point. And here we can say ignore Ignore file, ignore directory. I wonder. I think what we need to do is I think we need to go to file system and actually also add functions in here. So we have local file system, and then we do we can remove this here, I think. So file system here, ignore normalize, create directory. Okay, let's edit here. Ignore this file. Yeah, and then we go here and do this and this. And then here we say the local file system, ignore file name. We need to do bool, ignore false. Ignore and ignore and the archive file system, ignore and return ignore. Okay, let's do the same here for directory. There we go. Okay, that is sorted. Then we go to this one, and then here we actually do the file system. Then here we say the file system, ignore file, name, and true. Yeah. Okay, then we also have ignore directory. Ignore directory. This. Okay, but we need to understand whether it's a file or a directory. We can okay, how do we know it's a how do we know whether it's a directory or so if it ends on a slash, then we know it's a directory, but that's not good enough. Let me ask ChatGPT. What are reliable ways to distinguish a path from a directory path from a file path? Let's say relative from a relative file path. So the only thing I can think of right now, if there's a dot in the last term, then it could be a file. It could be. That doesn't need to be. Yeah. Relative directory path from a relative file path. Oh boy. Looks like ChatGPT is not loading again. Ah boy, we had that. We had that before. It looks like it takes time to load the account and doesn't work. Looks like they already broke their AI bot. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Good. So. How about we say? Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of. A dot in the file name and a trailing slash on the folder. That's it. It's not much. Send prompt. Yeah, I would like to chat here with a bot, but looks like it's broken. Can we open it anonymously? ChatGPT. Maybe it doesn't give much resources to free accounts. I've never paid for an AI. So maybe they they don't give a great service to unpaid users, which is understandable. Right. Okay, but yeah, I would say we do static bool assume file. Is assumed file. Then we do we do construct path. So say str chr. So we have path, and then we search for this guy. Then we also search for the other guy. So this is forward slash const char forward slash backslash then we have const char slash how do we do it? I think we had some other code already that did it. Get extension. Get extension. Get extension. Could do this. We could use this function, right? Here we do inline. Inline bool is file path. This file path. So I would say we do Expedia. basically this function would already cover everything, because in the file name, yeah, this function is all we need, really. It's file path. So just say return get extension is not PTR. That's it. Done. Okay. I think doesn't need to be in here. Wow. This file path. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I think that's fine. Good. Then do this. Let me say here if this file path .str include lib path util. Maybe we should. Okay. Path util. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, that should work. Let's see. So this thing is still not loading? No, it did. Let me see what ChatGPT says about this. You can't reliably distinguish, yeah. Could refer to a file, a directory. Create a file system, yeah. Application semantics. Yeah. Yep. Trailing separator. without the slash could be either file extensions, heuristic, probably file, probably directory. These are all files without conventional extensions. Directories can also contain dots. Yeah. Avoid guessing. Type, path. Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes sense to be explicit. Because this now wouldn't work if a file didn't have an extension, right? File didn't have an extension. But all the files in the engine have extensions. So I think for our use cases, this, yeah. Let me say here. The given path is assumed to be a file path or directory path. Requirements for file path are dot in trailing name / for last slash trailing name after the last slash. Yeah. Must contain okay. Okay, I would say we add an explicit type here as well. So do we make it an enum or just say yes, no is file path? Bool is file. Or we say is directory. System ignore. True if fire. False if directory. There can be only these two types, right? Well, there could be a wildcard or something. I don't know. Wildcard. We'll make it enum type file dir type directory or file type. Then we need a pass we need some reference type flags. Let me see that. Index lists. This types. What is that? This types flags. Isn't there some generic one like a list? I thought there was like something like a list or so. There must be something like a generic list. I've seen this before. I just can't remember what it's called. Here, bit string. Here, index list, that's the one. That's the one. So type file type, just type. File type names. How does this list look like? I guess it's a null terminated list, yeah. Okay, simple enough. So we add a static so we add this here. As type names. Let me say here file and deal. Okay, then here we say that. Do we need that? Nope. And here we say type. Type file deal. Okay, then here we say we also need a unknown, right? We need an unknown, which is a default unknown. How we say, instead of unknown, let's say auto. And then we say if type equals auto, if type equals auto, then if is file path, then we set the type to file system. Oh, god damn it. Dear file. There we go. Else set it to dear. And then here we do if switch case file dear break, default break. Okay. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Let's say default debug assert crash, debug crash. Impossible. Okay. Okay, this is looking good, I would say. So now we can optionally set explicit types for these things that we write in this file that I don't have open here. So by default, it will here assume that this is a file and this because there's a dot here. Otherwise, it assumes that this is a folder because there's no dot. You could make it also more explicit and write it like so. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's not necessary. We can do it like so. Okay, cool. Then let's see if that works. Error. Okay. That's not good. What do we have here? Ah, right. Is ignored. Okay. Wait, instead let's do success. Because it could also be not ignored, right? By the way, this one needs to be removed. Okay, some errors. What is that? Unreserved external file system ignore file, right? There we go. By the way, this one here, well, all these functions here, they could be statics, right? Think about it. Like, so these can be statics. This can be static. No, but maybe it doesn't need to be. Yeah. So, what do we have here? Okay. Okay. Looking good. Initialize the transfer by saving does not override. I would just remove the comment. That does not help the next reader. The next reader ever. And we will never look at this issue again. Because there are no complications, there are no unexpected unknowns. Okay, so this one works now. Let's see what happens when we run the game. So the type is uninitialized. Okay, well, that's not good. Right, we need a constructor. Initialize to auto. Okay. Let's try that again. So, all right. Now we have auto. Is path. It's not a path, not a file path, it's a directory. Okay, that looks correct. Now it jumps on here. Ignore directory. Okay, let's see what happens. So, local file system. It is not empty. We want to ignore it, yeah. And so it will normalize a path separator, which it is already. No, it's not. So it has now normalized it and make it lowercase as well. Data ini, yeah. That looks correcto. And then we have this one entered. Yeah, ignore directory. Okay. Okay. Okay, that has worked. True. Okay, blah. Next, archive file system ignored. False. So it's not empty. We have 46 archive files. Yeah. And now we need to go through each of them. Oh boy. Ignore root directory. Okay. The root directory. The root directory is actually empty, so you could ignore the root directory, which means the archive file system is not used at all. Huh. Well, but that seems silly. I think ignoring the root doesn't make much sense. So what do we have? Tokenizer, token. Tokens data. So it did actually find it in this archive. What archive is this? Audio English ZH. That has a ah yeah, of course. The audio files on the data folder. Okay, so what happens now? Next token is ini, and it won't find that. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here. Huh. Was that expected? I think not. I think I expected this breakpoint to hit, right? Oh. Huh. Let me see. So let me go to watch the archive file system. How does it look now? Archive file map. So we should have ignored inizh. Second, root directory. Directories 1. Data. That is. Second, data ignored false. Aha. Okay, so that didn't work. Yeah. What about the other one? The local file system. Here we have a ignore directory hash map, and that contains data slash ini. Okay. I think this looks as expected. Okay, but we have a problem. The archive ignore does not work. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see why. Okay, we can't jump in there. Let's restart debug. So what is the problem? Ignore directory. So directory data ini archive file map is 46 blah blah blah. Okay. Da, da, da. Why are not token empty? Okay, let me see. What does it do here? So the first token is data. It finds that. Okay. Then it's ini, and then it fails. Okay, that's fair. Why does it never get down here? Okay, let's try to find a... Let's try to reach the ini big. There we go. There we have an ini big. So, what is in here? Directories, data. That is found. Great. Next, token ini. Is that found? Yes. Okay. The info. Okay. Next token, please. Oh. Next token is... Oh. 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 Well. To me, it looks like this function doesn't work correctly. Like, why is this token not empty? This token still has the old value. Right? That doesn't seem right. Token... Off. Well, that sucks. There's a token clear down here. I think this one needs to do while tokenizer not empty. While tokenizer not empty. Hmm. Hmm. While token not token is empty. Oh man. Yeah. I think there are multiples of these loops, right? There's another one here where we copied it from. Yeah. Why not token is empty? So I wonder what happens if the token is empty, but then afterwards there is a valid token. So you have one empty token. Is that valid? Well, probably not. So token token. Okay, I think now the more I think about it, this loop is actually correct. The issue is in this next token function, isn't it? Let me jump back here one. Let's go in here. Let's see what it does. So the token currently is ini. The tokenizer is empty. Ah. Yeah, because it is empty. Or token is this. Tok is this. Tok is what? Why is this check here? If tok equals this, pointer equals this. I don't understand this. Tok equals this. Why does it do that? In what events does this matter? I don't know. What is this? What does this mean here? What is that for? Why would the token be at the same address as the tokenizer? What is this? Right, so I see. If they are identical. But okay, but why would that be a problem? If they okay, I see. If they, but it should be more like an assert, right? It should be an assert and not a runtime check. No. So it's empty. So this clear, tok clear, return false. So I think what this needs to do is clear the token here. Tok clear. And this one should be, let me do if tok equals this, turn false, remove, debug assert crash. I would argue that this should never be the case. Tokenizer and token are the same objects, so it cannot be the same object. Okay, then we remove this. So if the tokenizer is empty, then we clear the token because there's nothing in there anymore, and return false. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Does this function also exist in Unicode? Yes. To do fix. Okay. Okay. Good. I hope this doesn't break anything else in the game, because it is a quite fundamental function. Right. So let's see if this now works. Sorry. So inibig, there we go. So we find the data folder, yes. Then we find the ini folder, yes. And now we have tokenizer is empty, and the token will now be empty as well. This now meets our expectation. And then this one will be empty. And now we can say, hey, ignore this folder, please. Thank you very much. There we go. Return true. Okay, this has worked now. Fantastic. Then, yeah, this is good. Then it will probably find another one, a second one here, which is patch.big. Okay, so it also ignores that. And then it finds inizh.big. That also makes sense. And that's it. Okay. Then the next file, let's see. Now we have particle system ini, and we want to ignore a file. So we go to local file system, ignore file name, normalize file name, normalize in place, makes it all lowercase, okay. And just puts it here into the hash map, and there it is. Okay, that's simple enough. And then here, things are getting a bit more complicated. So archive file map. So it needs to go through all the file maps. Now I do realize here, file system. Okay, I see there's a little bit of a waste because (794) files. Because now it needs to normalize each of them. Right. Right, so that's an unnecessary allocation. It finds nothing. This end, yeah. So I think here we can optimize more. Ignore fire. What is the core stack? Can add a friend method maybe. Friend. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would say we add here protected. We say ignore normalized fire. Okay, then we need a friends class archive file system, and then here we do so this one definitely needs to be protected. No, that one should remain protected for now. Okay, so we have these guys here. Then let's go here. Then let's do this and this. And then we do directory. I just realized now that this one is not case insensitive. How does that work? Huh. I don't know. Okay, I don't know how that works. It's not case insensitive. Yeah. I wonder whether. So we have two options. Either we lowercase all the strings from the patterns and change the slashes to one version, or we do a lax lookup where it's case insensitive and the slashes can be either way, but then the comparison is more expensive every time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Advantages and disadvantages. Yeah. Hmm. Because it's easy to make mistakes when it always requires normalization, and yeah, but it is more efficient if carefully done, because then the lookups become the cheapest. Well, yeah. Why not really? Because let's see how efficient we can implement this. So So there is this file RTS, right, or STL utils or something. STL type devs. Is it that one? Yeah. I think this comment here not really necessary. So how about equal to ASCII string less than no case? Less than no case equal to. So how about hash equal to? Less than no case. No case. How about we implement a new function? Compare no case. How about we add a new one and call it let's go to path util. Wait, let me get this as a reference. Yeah, I would say we need a new function here. I would say inline int compare path. And then we would do const char b a b. How is str compare implementation? How does that look? Okay, let's use this as our base. So we have A, B, 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 A. Okay. So. Compare path. Okay. Then we do 2 lower equals this 2 lower. Or A equals slash, or A equals the other slash. Oh boy. So this, or no, and let's say let's have another function, inline bool is path separator separator return char ch equals this, or ch equals that. Then we say here, or this path separator and is path separator B. Okay, that makes it a bit easier to read. So does that make sense? Can remove this here. So if A and they are equal, maybe we can, I know it's fine. Okay, to lower, or a path separator and a path separator. Yeah. So this comparison should compare path properly. Yeah. So maybe we do that. Compare path, yeah. Let me confirm with is the following function correct to compare path with? So Windows path with close but not entirely correct is undefined for negative char values casted. Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. While A and B. Okay, it's good, good observations here, I would say. Not sure about this one here. More complicated. Windows uses case-insensitive comparisons based on the file system's rules. Unicode case folding. Unicode case folding. Separator normalization. Path separator. Foobar. Okay, then let me take that. So compare paths A, B, C, A. Okay. To lower. Okay, I think that's a good point. Okay, then how do we can we test for trailing slash? Let me see what it has in store. Has trailing separator. Sparse separator. After the main loop. But I just wanted to avoid normalization from comparison, before comparison. The idea is to just throw anything and then it would just work. Yeah. Compare paths. Well, we can say or we can maybe add a maybe what we can do here is say or sparse separator or null. Sparse separator or ch equals null 0. Maybe we can do that. Or null. Well, that's not possible. No. I think now I understand what the bots said. Right, at the end, yeah, we can do that because one of them will have reached null, the other not. Separator. Well, the pure. Why? Why does it say wireless path separator? Probably we need to say if A and I don't know, we don't need that. If is path separator plus A. Trailing, be careful not to turn root paths. Why instead of if? Any number of trailing. Ah, okay. Okay, well, that's fair then. Okay. Ignore trailing separators. Except the separator. Wow, doesn't need a comment, right? Okay, too lower. Okay, I think that makes sense, yeah. I mean, it's not too bad, I would say. It checks if it's a path separator. Then it does it too lower. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do we want to do that or not? So that means we won't do any path normalization. We just dump in all the paths into the maps as is. And it will just do a path agnostic comparison. Now we also need a hash function for this. Yeah. But that's another story. pairs to ASCII path and ignores mismatching slashes. Ignores case and mismatching slashes. Useful for maps, map lookups. Yeah, I think we can do that. Okay. Oops. Good. I think I'll take a break here. It has been almost 3 hours. Yeah. Let me check this here. Dropped and okay, that's cool. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Okay. Show replay load failed and refresh list. Title. Replay cannot be loaded. Cannot be opened or is invalid. Okay. Playback fire. Okay. Freshness. So just make this two functions. Okay. I don't know what's going on down here. Where does it delete a line there? It's an update. Show replay map not found. The bot has a complaint. My brain has overheated. Good. Yeah, so now the question is, do we want to do this with a comparison path? It has advantages. It means that we can just throw any path at those maps and the comparison would just work and we don't need to transform them first to lower case and so on. So that's good. Yeah, so it reduces maintenance complexity, but it does mean that each comparison will be more expensive, right? More expensive than just like a string compare. Yeah. Let me ask. Do Do we expect a big performance penalty? For map lookups. With the paths. Compare. With the compare paths. Instead of str compare. Usually no. Performance difference often much smaller than people expect. CMap lookup performs. 1000 entries, 10 comparisons, 17. Oh, that's so little. Jesus. Okay. So there are 1 million entries, only 20 comparisons. Huh. I had no idea. I thought it would have been more. Wow. Huh. It's really not that bad. A bit slower, the cost is multiplied by about only 10 to 20. Comparator adds 2 lower, 2 separator checks, 1 extra branch. Fairly small amount. How many characters are equal before the first difference? Stop at the first mismatch. Avoiding the C library to lower. True. Just a couple of instructions can be inlined easily. Cache behavior matters more. Okay, I think that's a good idea. Fold? What does fold mean? C plus equal A minus A. What? Why does it call it fold? What does that mean? Fold. To lower ASCII. How about that? ASCII. Should we also take unsigned here? Maybe. To lower. Let's say to lower ASCII. Oh, I just see a mistake here. I don't know what I did there. To lower ASCII goes here, and then we can remove this here. A minus A CH plus equal A. Okay. Mhm. Okay, it's lower, too lower ASCII, blah. Okay. Cache behavior matters more. The biggest cost is often not the comparator. Each tree node is separately allocated. Lookups involve pointer chasing. Causes cache misses, yeah. Orders of magnitudes more. If lookup speed is critical, millions of pairs lookups, changing a container yields much larger gains. Another map. Okay, I think that's a reasonable assumption here that we don't need to worry about it much. Normalize once. Normalize on insertion, yeah. But that requires babysitting, as I said. Yeah. I would say for our cases, it's probably easier to just have case insensitive comparison. Yeah. It's no babysitting. User code can be simpler. But yeah. Means we need here a little bit of comparison code. Okay. Faster. Faster version than too lower for ASCII only. Whether the character is a pass separator. Turn a lowercase ASCII character faster than to lower. Good, let me remove this here. Here I can say return file extension if extension from absolute or relative path when present, null otherwise. Okay, a little bit of documentation there. Good. We still will need a hash function. Yeah. Good. But I will take a break here. I'm hungry. Then prevents callers from omitting the refresh. Show refreshless. Okay. Good. Then map data. Really load replay. Okay. Replay file not found. Okay, I can't see anything obvious wrong here, but I also didn't test it, so I hope that he tested it well. But just looking at the code, it seems like it would make sense. Keep the replay menu open when the playback could not be started. Yeah. Code looks okay. Is the bot happy? The bot is happy. 5 of 5. Okay. Then let me dismiss this here because stale. I press here and then I still will, yeah, waiting reviewer, which has been there for quite a while already. Freshes list delete. Good. Then I think I will end it here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.